So it's been about 3 weeks since I uploaded the 3 weeks Abyss challenge, coincidentally enough. And I thought it would be fun to do a retrospective on the entire Abyss challenge with a special guest. Yes, I am bringing someone on stream who attempted the exact same challenge as me at the exact same time on the same banners, my mod Gophers. And when Gophers is not terrorizing the chat, he is a very experienced Genshin player, theory crafter, longtime player. He knows his stuff, all right? But we're gonna get talking with him to get some very important information. One, see how his run went. You guys saw how my run went. It's gonna be exciting to see an entire other player's run and how it shaped up. And then of course, we wanna really figure out what we could have done better, new strategies we could try next time, because I am going to get that challenge done one day. Probably not anytime soon because I'm still exhausted, but let's get it going. Go say hello to the people on YouTube, on Twitch. Just, yeah, give a little introduction to yourself, my friend.
Hello, people on YouTube and Twitch. I'm a Twitch mod. I got no life. Twitch mod, yeah. That's me.
No life, but like 7 girlfriends, right? Because you're a Twitch mod?
8 this year, actually.
Oh, congrats, man. So what possessed you to try this ridiculous Abyss challenge that I set up for us?
I thought it was better than you.
Yeah, how'd it go? Do we want to spoil it now or?
It went pretty good, I think. Yeah, I think it went very good, actually.
All right, well, Goph's got a little bit of a presentation for us, and it seems pretty well made. Is this gonna like summarize the entire adventure, or is this gonna be something else?
I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, it is going to summarize the entire adventure, and it's going to be leaking some Discord DMs from me and my colleagues about the challenge. So that's going to be interesting.
Leaks. You guys are getting leaks live. Leaks TV. Finally. The people have been begging for it.
Yeah, isn't it? Is this Leaks TV there at the bottom?
Yeah, that's a leak. All right, brother. Let's take it away.
Started. So first I'll introduce the characters. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So first, me, Gophers, Goph, 3-time MVP, first team all Twitch chatter, professional Zhongling main, college student.
MVP of what, if you don't mind me asking?
MVP.
Of course.
Chapulin, 2 times finals MVP, first team all Twitch chatter, Kaching main, probably not a furry, still not 100%, but unlikely. And then we got Arch Phantom. He's an actual Twitch mod, unlike myself.
Holy.
Eula main, 100% every area, day 1. Knows a lot about the game.
Is that his speed run record I see at the bottom there? Screenshot from Genshin?
Yeah, he got 1 minute 50 seconds on that challenge. That was kind of one of the greatest achievements of all time. So, talking about the pre-challenge game plan, we were thinking about getting Yai Miko first, as one does, and then standard pulling after that.
That was actually my same strategy as well. Yeah, it was. It was get Yai Miko, standard. So, okay, pretty similar, but things don't shake out.
Yeah.
How you plan.
And we were thinking we're gonna have to use Zhongling. I was pretty happy about that.
The GOAT. So this is something a lot of wise guys in the YouTube comments like to say is like, why wouldn't you use Zhongling? She's the GOAT, whatever. So as you obviously know, Zhongling at C4 is where we're thinking Zhongling's at her maximum, you know, capacity or potential. So like, how much worse do you think Zhongling is at C0? And don't say 40%.
I was gonna say 40%, but it's probably even worse than 40% worse because you kind of have to manage everything, like your other party members burst at the same time. To
me, like Zhongling's like damage graph, it like, you know, spikes when her burst is up, and then because her burst doesn't last as long without C4, it's just like the graph just goes down after that, and you gotta like wait. It's like a flat line until it comes back up. And so like for my team specifically, I think that's what people didn't really put together was like Diluc. I get Diluc's not like the GOAT, right? But he applies Pyro all the time, where Zhongling applies more Pyro and does a lot of damage, but only for a set limited amount of time at C0 to 3. And it just wasn't enough for like an overload team, in my opinion. Obviously, that's my team, but I'll let you cook.
Especially since you had more electro characters. So if you had Xiangling, you get electro trigger, and it's easier to just have Duluth be the trigger. I hate how we'll end up running National and Hyper Bloom. We're going full Eakes. I thought that was pretty representative of how the Twitch streams kind of go when the Abyss challenges. Always just ends up with those two teams, kind of weirdly enough. It's kind of weird.
You're referring to my 4-star challenges that we.
I'm referring to kind of everything.
Okay. Everything, huh? But so, were you planning to just buy Xingqiu from, get Xingqiu from Lantern Right pretty safely for the national team?
We weren't sure if we were going to get Xingqiu from Lantern Right or if we were going to get somebody else because we knew we could get him in the shop the next month. So it was between kind of him and Beto. We didn't know exactly which one we wanted to get.
Would you have thrown Beto on the Hyperloom team?
That was a consideration. It was going to be like a Cope, like Yai Trigger Hyperbloom team.
Yeah.
So it was probably going to have like a Cryo 4th slot.
All right. I'll let you cook.
Yeah, and we were just kind of praying to get like a Bennett or Official or a Sucrose or a Cookie or a Shivers or somebody.
That'd be pretty lucky, I think. Oh, that's you three.
Yeah. I'm Gordon Ramsay. That's what they've been calling me. So yeah.
All right, Master Chef. What do we cook up next?
Okay, so day 1, Chop kind of started it. He gets the AR-12 so we can unlock commissions day 1. I think you probably could have not done commissions for like the first week and you probably would have still ended up around the same spot. But so our first tempo, we got Fav. Kind of fitting.
Yeah.
Copeland says we won. So after we got Fav, start farming the Cryo Flower for balls because we kind of plan to use him in some sort of hyper fridge.
Oh, not the national team.
No, not the national team. And then disaster kind of struck. We got Chongyun, Dory, and Sayu on our first 4 stars.
That's about as good as Chevra's Official and Kookie when you really think about it.
About as good.
Yeah.
Comparable. And then we also got Xinyan on our first 10 pull on the limited banner. That was me after I pulled Xinyan. And then we pulled Kaching and Fab in the same 10 pull on the standard banner.
Oh my god.
This is like
this was early,
40
right?
Pity. Like 40 pity, yeah.
Woo-wee.
We got another 5-star. Like 20 pulls later. But it was Chi-Chi, so it was kind of like...
There's your cryo character you were talking about you needed, right?
Yeah, we didn't even consider her for a second. She was just Star Glitter, kinda. And then we also got an Amber. Amber
yeah.
T1. Nice. And then... we pull Yai Miko. We won the 50-50, like, hard pity. We got her.
Okay.
That was a big win right there. This brings us to mistake 1. We got locked out of our Google account. Arch can't log in.
No!
Kind of sad. So it's kind of... So we run duos now. Me and Chop, we run duos now. That's us.
The dream team.
So next, the no sleep grind, okay? So this is like, I think end of the first week, kind of sometime around the weekend. I got to AR 36. I think this was Friday. I got to AR 36. We were trying to get to AR 40 by the end of the week so we could do weekly bosses. Oh yeah, so we were AR 39 and then you were AR 30 at this point.
Yeah, that's okay. Slow and steady.
Yeah, but you still didn't have Yai unlike us, and you didn't have Kaching unlike us, so we were kind of doing better, I think. And we also had Skyward Blade.
Am I getting this right? You got 3 early 5-stars on standard?
That is correct, yes. And that brings us to mistake number 2. The second mistake is I got COVID.
You what?
Oh, dude, you went outside? What a mistake.
I went outside for 1 day.
All right, how did the old Rona affect the run?
It made me not want to play because I was so tired all day. So it kind of made Chop have to play more. So Chop starts hard carrying, gets us to AR 40. We got a Sayukan.
Oh, that's big.
But we also got Bennett, which was pretty big.
That's really big, but the teams you guys were thinking of were Kaching, Aggravate, and Hyper Bloom with the IA. So
exactly.
Those are obviously 2 great teams, no questioning that. But they are teams that do require high quality artifacts. You know, you need crit rate and crit damage on Kaching and Yae. You need it on Xiangling and Xingqiu. So Obviously, they're great, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the artifacts shaped up.
So we kind of thought we had no other choice at this point. That was kind of like, what are we going to do? Not use Bennett? Which brings me to mistake number 3. We got Bennett.
Bennett griefed the whole run. He changed the plan.
So now, new era, new plan, new me. That's me. New plan, new me.
Is that you after you can like taste and smell again?
No, I still couldn't taste and smell at this point, but new me, new plan, farm emblem, and strongbox TF for Kaching and Yai. That was kind of the new plan, so we could start farming artifacts. And we made this spreadsheet that kind of had our plan for farming, for like what we should farm every day, and like what level we want to get the characters ideally. So like Kaching, you can see 90 out of 90 for the aggravate.
That's some good organization.
You kind of have to be more organized when you have a bunch of people, I feel like, because otherwise no one's going to know what they're doing.
That's honestly true, yeah.
Decided to leave Yai at 80 out of 80 just because the electro crystals were kind of limited.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like the only reason I got even 2 characters in 90, and it's just because it was Hyper Bloom and Overload, like transformative. They get carried by the level, but when you guys are running comps like this, you do get the, you know, privilege to not get as many characters level 90, but I do see that you still did end up deciding to get Kaching to 90. Bennett to 90 does make a lot of sense, but what made you want to get Kaching to 90?
Just because of how many aggravates she's actually doing. Like aggravate scales on your level.
Yep.
So getting her to 90 was pretty important for us. She was actually the first character we got to 90, and we were just kind of pushing her level as fast as we could the entire run. And this is kind of how we were feeling after we hit AR 45. Arch really wanted to be the frog for some reason. I don't know. And that brings us to mistake 4. I can't play on my PlayStation. So I had to play on mobile when I played, which was not fun. I was doing the Zhongli story quest on mobile. That was fun. Oh, that's actually a good point. We did the Zhongli story quest because part 2 of the story quest gives you a dream solvent. We got 1 dream solvent total. From the drops.
That's terrible. I got 3 total. Wow, we all got unlucky. It's a 33% chance every time. Wait, well, what's happening? Why is Choplin questioning the teams in the first place?
Because we were worried that National wasn't going to be good enough.
So did you guys farm artifacts yet? Or are we there yet?
Oh, yeah, we farmed artifacts.
Well, how'd that go? I'd say that's a pretty pivotal part of the run. All right, it's build time. I think we might need to throw in the towel. It's not looking good at all. The Doom posting. Wow, at least you can actually log into your account.
You can't log in anymore?
No, because the email got banned, and then I upgraded my motherboard, so it's a new device. So the only device that could log in was my computer, and now I can't do it.
So, about the artifact, look. She's on Harbinger of Dawn. She got to be on 2-piece TF, 2-piece Glad. Got her talents to 937. We're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, 9 is higher than I got on anybody.
And her stats are actually kind of good.
Yo, she's cooking.
And then we had Bennett, who was on Instructor and Skyward Blade.
Classic.
And level 8 Burst, which is pretty good, I guess.
That's really good.
And then we have Vi Miko, who's on a Wood Sith. We only got to level 80, like I mentioned. And then her talents, we got her skill to 8, which we're happy with.
Yeah, was about the same as mine.
6,200?
Dude, mine had like, I thought mine was good. Your guys' is maybe even better. Let's see how Songling's like.
Fish for the catch, as one does. We got her on Emblem, 5-piece actually.
Ooh.
Got her C1, and we got her burst to 8.
Hell yeah.
Which is pretty good. Her stats don't really look that good. I guess we kind of overestimated how good she would be. But we kind of felt like we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, because their reach is like a point of no return in the challenge where it's like you have to run the character.
This weapon was, I think, a good idea because like if you trigger the Electro Swirl and it aggravates, then you get the leaf. So that was like a little bit extra EM we could give to our Kaching, which was the idea at least. And then we have some VV pieces, but they're nothing special, and they're just kind of strong box, pretty easy. At the end, we tried using Lynette on the national team specifically for the alien like ball things. Because she has Uzia, you can like take out their shields right away. Yeah.
You guys originally said you were gonna farm Gilded, but you ended up just dropping that and only farming Emblem, right?
Yeah, because we had to play national on our second team. So it was kind of like, well, we kind of have to use Emblem on Zhongling. Like, that's probably our best option, and Kaya can use it, and Xingqiu can use it.
Yeah.
So let's farm that, and then Yai and Keqing can use the two-piece shim, at least.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning of the end, yeah, Lisa Hyperbloom, that was not going to be it. So, yeah, it was like, we don't got any other choice. We kind of have to stay with National at this point. Chop tries some runs, and he's like, I don't know if we'll be able to do this, but we still had like 1 day left, so... And it was like the weekly reset, so like we can get Keqing's talents up, we can get Bennett's burst up 1. Let's try it again the next day. But
this is the last slide? Wait, so how many stars was Choplin able to get on the second to last day?
I mean, we were going for like 36 stars or like nothing. So we just ended up like, we didn't get 3 stars on the first chamber, and we just didn't like try to get any more stars past that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the last day we played was Monday. We didn't even play Tuesday. Demo actually played a little bit on Tuesday, I think.
So
maybe it was Monday night.
A fourth chatter comes into the fray.
Yeah, Demo came in at the end just to try to steal the glory.
Demo just beats it all by themselves.
I was expecting to log in the next day and it was just going to be done. So we just tried to go all for 36 stars or nothing. So we just ended up with 27 stars.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because, like, for people who watched, like, all the days who, for some reason, was watching me torture myself in the Abyss for 12 hours, like, the floor I tried the most was floor 1. It wasn't even the Weena, because it was, like, I was in the same mindset where it's, like, it's 36 stars or nothing, and, like, I gotta get it on floor 1. Were you guys, like, ever pretty close to the 3 stars?
I think we got, like, I want to say yes, we got kind of close. But it would always kind of come down to how well the like spinning robots grouped. I would reset so much just trying to get them to group correctly.
All right, so is this the last slide, or do we have a special?
We got a couple slides for what went right.
Okay.
In our challenge, we got the AR 40 and 45 fast, which let us use more of our resin for artifacts. So that was good, I would say. We were able to farm just 1 domain instead of like spreading our resin out.
Yeah.
That was definitely good because it let us get better pieces. We had decent builds, I would say. I'd say some of them are like, they look pretty decent. And then we also got to play teams that we were like pretty comfortable with. I think we used our resources well when leveling stuff up, like using that resin efficiency guide. That was good. And then we had good 5-star luck.
That you did?
I don't know. That was good because we got Keqing, which was definitely good. And we got Skyward Blade, which it's pretty good. It's not the biggest increase over like Sapwood Blade, but it's still pretty good. And then it didn't really matter, but it was extra star glitter, which was nice. Maybe a question?
What's the what am I supposed to ask here?
A question.
What went wrong? Oh,
who asked?
Oh my God. Okay, bro.
Who asked?
All right.
Who asked? Okay, but I'm glad you asked. What went wrong? We got pigeonholed into Bennett, and we had to play a cope form of national. I'd say that was not good. Just because, I mean, the Keqing and Yaya builds were both good, and the Zhongling build was like decent, but she was also C1, and the other builds on that team were bad. Ark got Dono walled out of the account. He wasn't able to play that much.
That's tough.
So that sucked. I got COVID, and I got burnt out after like the first week because I was playing way too much in the first week. And then Chop got burnt out towards the end because me and Ark weren't playing that much, so he started getting burnt out. And then we got pretty bad 4-star luck. We only got Bennett. Like, if we would have got, like, Fisho, we could have played her on the Keqing team. We could have tried, like, a Yai Hyper Bloom thing. It would have been really good if we got Sucrose, because we could have either played her in National, or we could have played, like, some sort of Hyper Bloom with Sucrose as the trigger. And I think we underestimated the Abyss Blessing. The Abyss Blessing was actually, like, when you do plunge damage, it would release, like, a shockwave around, like, around your character, and it doesn't do that much damage, but I think it did like 6,000 damage every time you plunged, basically. I think like the play with Zhao could have also been like play him in Hyper Bloom as the driver, like a Sucrose, and build him on full EM, and that way you can get the plunge damage,
Now you're cooking.
and you can still get hyper blooms.
Okay, well, let's move into the next part. Were there any like strategical things that you think you guys could have done better? I guess with like resin spending or grinding AR or that kind of thing. Because like for me, I think farming elite monsters and doing like artifact runs like on the map, literally from like the soonest you possibly can. Like it's tedious and annoying, but like it'll save you a lot of resin over time.
I would say the same thing about artifacts, like artifact routes and elites, but kind of knew that we were not going to do that because it's boring and it takes a lot of time.
Nice.
So yeah, that was not something that we were going to do.
I think I think you guys did have like a lower level,
Exactly.
average level than I did. So I think I did burn through more just for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even sure if it was worth it, to be honest. And then we did kind of touch on it a little bit earlier, but resin refreshing earlier. Because, dude, like the amount of primo gems you need if you get lucky through the gacha, like it's not that much, like straight up. So I agree. Like I would have done the 50 at least every day, literally even day one, I think. I think a big thing that I've mentioned in the video and stuff is like, I think it's pretty obvious that almost everyone who's cleared something like this does account rerolls until they get like a 5-star off rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think that just very obviously would have made the run a lot easier.
Yeah, like the 4 stars on the banner definitely make a big difference because like if you can get like a guaranteed copy of Fischl, if we got like a guaranteed Fischl, we would have had a way better Kaching team because we have Fischl instead of Yae, and just it can be a lot more aggravates. I feel like the 4 stars are almost more important than the 5 stars on the banner.
I think this would be a fun little thought experiment. What do you think would be the 2 best 5-star characters that you could possibly have on a patch to make this challenge like possible?
Yeah, I think like there's 2 ways you could think about it. So we kind of talked about like 2 like strong and like versatile DPS characters like Nuvolette and like El Haytham. Like Nuvolette's just strong in general. You can play him on any team. He can clear a side by himself basically. And then like El Haytham I think is good because he does damage, but like he can also drive like Hyper Bloom. And I think like the other option would be like Nilu Nahida.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. It's obvious, low artifact quality, easy teams to build. You get Barbara, Kale for free, slap them on there. I definitely think that is one of the best. I really like the idea of Nuvolette and All Hytham because I think Nuvolette is obviously an amazing pick for this because he's not team dependent. You know, if you get a Fischl out of nowhere or if you get a shielder, like those are great, but like, bro, he doesn't even need anything. Yeah, without talking like too much crap about Yae, Miko, and Xiao, like they're not, in my opinion, like top tier 5 stars. So like they're fine. But then the 4 stars are like terrible. So if it was like them with good 4 stars versus good 5 stars and like terrible 4 stars, like I almost feel like the 4 stars make a bigger difference.
Agree. I think having 2 to 3 good 4 stars on the banner is more important than having good 5-star characters. Because the abysses are always made for the 5-star characters too. So you always have that even.
So do you think you would have changed your teams at all? Do you think you would have decided to not use Bennett and try to do some sort of team with a transformative reaction or something like that?
Yeah, I think we should have decided to pull for Zhao at that point and either use Zhao and Bennett or play Zhao Hyper Bloom.
Yeah, because like for me, looking back at it, like I got kooky and I'm just immediately like, dude, Hyper Bloom GG is awesome. But dude, like Hyper Bloom specifically against the Weena isn't as good as it sounds. Because Hyper Bloom is a team that like, it's doing good damage at all times, right? But when the Weenut's gone, you're doing 0.
Yeah, I think I agree. Kaching is really good against the Weenut. and so is Yai. So that's kind of why, like, Hyper Bloom could have been a better option for us, because I mean, Kaching, like you said, like she gets that like front-loaded damage, and she can kind of do damage in those bursts, and her cooldowns line up with when it comes out of the ground as well.
That's
so
true.
Kaching kind of was pretty good there. So we didn't really ever have a question that we wanted to use her on the second side. And I guess like it would have been better for us to choose, like, I guess our ideal Lantern Rite character actually would have been Gaming, probably, because we didn't even buy Beto from the shop, and we bought Xingqiu, we picked Xingqiu from the Lantern Rite, so we didn't even use our Star Glitter.
That's actually crazy. We were talking about like getting a second Xiao, like getting a second 5-star to get Xiao to even take advantage of it. But bro, Gaming was there the whole time.
You don't think when you start, I'm going to do no damage, and I'm going to need that extra 6,000 damage. Like, you never think about 6,000 damage, like, on your main accounts. You're never going to think about 6,000 damage when you start a challenge like this.
Goph, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people?
I would like to say, yeah, big shout out to Twitch chat, and I want to say, like, maybe this challenge, we might have had, like, a slight advantage in this challenge by having a couple extra people.
Slight, and, very slight.
Yeah, and also, like, we don't really come from, like, a whale account. So we kind of, like, we don't have the advantage. We didn't have the disadvantage of, like, not really knowing, like, how to play without spending a ton of money, or, like, how to play without getting, like, a bunch of donations from viewers for, like, polls and stuff. So we didn't really have that disadvantage, so I think that kind of helped us out a little bit.
Yeah. I was like a fish out of water. I was just a dumb guy, right?
Yeah, you can kind of tell a little bit that you just kind of didn't feel comfortable without like your C6 5 stars.
Well, alrighty, my dude. Thank you again, Goph, and my dude. I will talk to you later, my friend. Thank you, man, for coming on the stream.
See you later. 07 in the chat.
07, baby. Peace. I'm not trying to flex. Okay, this isn't a flex, but no one can ever try this challenge the way we did. If someone's doing this challenge right now on this new patch that I don't know of, I mean, cool, good for you. But like, bro, you didn't do it against the freaking Weenut, Ruin Serpent, Mex with freaking Yai, Miko, Xiao, and some dog shit 4 stars. Because no banner will ever be the same. It is really cool that like we tried it in this one frame of time that can like never be replicated again. But that makes it cool. So like for the next time that I try it, it's like, it's that one run, baby. It's the one freaking run, bro. Well, as you guys can see, there is a lot of things that I could have done better, that Goph could have done better in the 3 weeks Abyss challenge. There are just a million moving parts. Definitely overlooked a few things. Maybe got baited by a few things, but I think that's just, you know, how it works, how humans work. And I mean, it's a wild challenge. And for the question, will I ever do this challenge again? I gotta be honest, I really do want the run back. At some point, at some time in the future, I'm not sure when. It's not gonna be super soon, but I promise you guys, I will try it again in my life, okay? So make sure to sub to the channel so you don't miss it, okay? Make sure to come follow the stream so that you can be here live when I decide to stream for 3 weeks straight again, okay? And as always, big shout outs to the patrons, the homies that support us on Patreon, making videos like this possible. Zik, Launcy, Spangle, Rats, Jahira, everyone over there, thank you oh so very much. And my dudes, I will see you next time with more knowledge in our brains. Peace.